Welcome back, everyone, to another Gaming on the Brain playthrough. And this swap time, we've got a bit of another curiosity, really.
Yeah.
We're playing Final Fight 2, what you would commonly know as the SNES version.
Yeah.
But I'll hand over to Glenn and he can explain what's going on here, because it's not quite what it seems.
Well, before I go into that, please do excuse me. Coffee swillage,
Glenn,
which I've just recently...
It wasn't coffee, he weed on his own top. It just went
I wanted to
everywhere.
keep that a secret, but it's now out for all the world to see. Well, anyway, moving on. This is Final Fight 2, as you can see, but this is actually a bootleg arcade version, so it is the SNES version in all form. But there's a few tweaks here and there, just making it much harder, I would have said. It's based on the Japanese version, as you can clearly see, which means that there's no cuts, not cuts necessarily, but some censorship which was made between the Japanese and the Western, American, UK, PAL, etc. Versions. And obviously, I suggested this to Mark, so we'll play this one because we can have infinite credits and have a bit of fun. I'm not sure how many credits you get in the SNES version. I used to be able to complete it back in the day, but it's been a long time.
And I've played it probably once.
And it's a bit of a curiosity as well, because this wouldn't have been Japanese, this would have been Korean or a Hong Kong arcade bootleg, so this would have run in a cabinet in those countries, Apparently there's a bootleg of Final Fight 3 out there as well, so when we come down, we might go that route as well, I think. So, but I mean, it's great. It's a good, solid game. It isn't a patch on Street Rage 2 on the Mega Drive, which is a bona fide classic of all time. And I'll go into a bit more detail as we play it anyway. But as an overall beat 'em up on the SNES coming out in 1993, it's solid. Not great, but solid. Maybe I'll not even start reviewing it and so on. But it's made by Fight instead of Capcom. In 1996 as well. The interesting thing about this was, I'll let her join in.
I think
that might be the way it works, mate, to be honest. I've got here, go. It might not let you join in at the same time, who knows. It's Taiwan and Hong Kong and especially those with Korea to some degree and all did do this a lot, where Mega Drive games as well, where not the existing Super System like for the Super Nintendo or the Mega Tech or Mega Play, which was a multi-game cabinet, official multi-game cabinet by their respective companies. These are literally just like taking the game for the home system and putting a credit system in. Some tweaks here and there, which in this game we're actually playing it on easy, we'll confess, because not that the game's really hard in itself, but the damage done by the enemies is absolutely out of this world. You can die in like 2 hits from just about anybody.
Like that.
Exactly. So you're going to see a lot of deaths, although it might be because of shit, but
Glenn shit happened.
but your damage isn't anymore. I've noticed when I played 2 levels the other day, first 2 levels, and the damage done by the players is no higher than it would have been in the home version. Like I say, overall, Final Fight 2, very solid, direct sequel to the SNES version of Final Fight 1. And I'll explain why I consider it its sequel to that, not the arcade game. I think it's a little bit of a lazy sequel. It's got Golden Axe 2 syndrome, as I call it. When I mean Golden Axe 2 in the home system, Great game still. Lots of fun. Some nice polish in there as well. But not that much innovation over the original. Now, if you consider this a direct sequel to the SNES version, as it is, it's got a lot of improvements. But the SNES lost 3 key features, as many know, and some might not. 2-player function was gone. It was a very early game on the Super Nintendo, Final Fight 1. Excellent playability, great game, very played just like the arcade game. So if you could put up with playing a 1-player version of Final Fight 1, you had a lark. But you lost the 2-player option, I say. It lost one character who was Guy. Now, the great thing about Final Fight in the arcade is all 3 characters are so cool. Everyone loves that. Each character's now got tons of Capcom history behind them. Do you know what I mean? There's no bad character. There's no bad character in Final Fight in the arcade. They all have strengths and weaknesses, and they're all fun to play as. So losing any one of those was a big.
I can never make my mind up between playing as Guy or Cody.
Well,
I don't very often play as Hagar.
Do you know what it is though? I love all 3 again, and I remember when I had the Mega CD version, which I'd love to play one day maybe as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Although it is
the music alone.
The soundtrack unbelievable, great conversion as well. But I tended to play as Hagar a lot. The punching wasn't as fast on that version, so it didn't seem to make as much difference. Anyway, back to Final Fight 2, 1 on the SNES. So I say it lost a character, it lost the 2-player mode, and it also lost 1 full level. Depending on how you feel, maybe the worst level in the game, the industrial zone, I don't know. It's a level with the most
Is that
sort
where you fight with lead, though,
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's got traps and stuff. I mean,
I hate that level of crap.
yeah. So they maybe made the best decision. It's obviously all down to cartridge size. Again, a very early game.
What was it, 4 megabit, was it?
I don't know if I'm probably yeah. This is 12. This is a 12 meg cartridge. I know that for definite.
Right.
Again, remember Street Race 2 is actually a 16 meg. Yeah, I don't remember checking a while back. But anyway, so it lost 3 major features. Now, the Japanese version, other than that, is intact, but it had a couple of censorship issues. It changed the 2 female characters, which are Poison and Roxy, into Sid and Billy. Male versions, obviously.
Yeah.
Nintendo censorship of the time, which is a massive deal. You know, I mean, this stretched over into games like Mortal Kombat and offhand Mortal Kombat. Anyway, but there was a lot of games that were affected by it, and Final Fight was a very big early one. Also, I believe like you had all 3 weapons. I mean, you have the knife and the pipe and the katana in Final Fight 1, and they just took the blood out, which in and of itself is not a big deal, but you know, you get blood splat when you hit enemies with the pipe and
barely
with
anything,
the knife.
isn't it?
That's it, yeah. But the 2 characters, to be fair, Sid and Billy are actually like pretty interesting looking characters, but you can clearly see that they're effeminate, that they're meant to be female. So you know, this day and age, maybe that works. I don't know.
Would it be more offensive now that they've removed the female
Well,
characters?
this is something else. It would be in this day and age, because you say, well, why are women not capable of fighting or something? Like in Final Fight 2, you've got Maki, which is a female girl, obviously a female character.
Yeah.
Because the censorship stretched into this game as well. I mean, they replaced the 2 female enemies again.
That one.
I won them. They changed the 2 female enemies into males again.
Yeah,
Oh, right, no worries. Cheers, bud. And you know, so that censorship remained in Final Fight 2 as well. But shorter game, Final Fight 1, the SNES. Now this game, Final Fight 2, is 6 levels long with 3 playable characters and with the 2-player mode clearly intact. You know, so they've took the easy route and thought, well, we don't really have to do anything above the scope of the original arcade game, because you've clearly got more content, haven't you?
Yeah.
Extra characters, 2-player mode, which everyone needed, 6 levels. So as a sequel to the SNES version, it's very good. This is the boss one, he's quite cool, but he's got his cleaver now as well.
Music doesn't change.
Another little bit of censorship in this in the American version of this game is 1-1. This boss, it looks weird because he loses his cleaver, but he's still clearly hitting you with something that's not in his hand. He's not putting. They don't replace the frames of animation. You know what I mean? So he's intact in this version, you know. But Final Fight 2, spent the whole level just yapping. Final Fight 2, very good, very solid beat 'em up on the SNES, very playable, definitely worthy of Capcom, and you know, obviously on a weaker system than a CPS 1 and CPS 2 hardware at that time, 1993. It would have been the earliest CPS 2 stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a good game, but it is a game that improves on the original arcade version. A slight step back. Bosses cool looking. I mean, this is 1-1. He's quite interesting looking chap, like. But he's like, look at us now. I mean, we're kicking the shit out of the guy, and there's nothing. I mean, think about Damned, the original boss of Final Fight 1. I mean, how cool was that character?
Yeah.
You know, and he would he had character. I mean, he would leave the fight halfway through, and his head was down a bit, and he'd call on minions and whistle them on and stuff and that. And we've just fought this guy there, and he does nothing like that, you know.
Yeah. And if you're fighting him on the English version where he's got no meat cleaver, he hasn't even got that to talk about, has he?
I know. He's just literally
hits you with a fist.
Strangely stereotypical Chinese man who is actually a chef.
Runs around fisting people. Whether they like it or not.
Without going into too much more about the bosses, which I will do as we go along, I will talk about the music of Final Fight 2. Now, in and of itself, it's quite catchy. It's not a terrible soundtrack.
I remember the music already. So at that first level, I remember it. It's like,
that's a good tune. And you've got this tune, which grates on you after a while.
Yeah, it's already there now.
The fact that the soundtrack of Final Fight 2, bear in mind, remember, its biggest competitor at the time is Street Race 2. I mean, do I need to even speak about the soundtrack of Street Race 2 at this point?
There's no competition.
You know?
Final Fight 2 is far better.
But I will say I love the soundtrack of Final Fight 1 the arcade.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's a very different type of soundtrack that completely suits the atmosphere in the game. Again, not a patch on Street Race 2's, but they're very different tunes, but very appropriate for the game, where it's more like a cartoon. And this does feed over into Final Fight 3 as well, who, without checking, I'm assuming is the same composer.
Yeah.
But like I say, that's enough about the soundtrack. It's there. It's nothing spectacular. Quick little word about enemies. Again, another little nod back to the laziness of this game, even though it's a good game. Final Fight 1 had an extremely interesting and unique set of bad guys. Like, I mean, they all have their own ways of fighting. They're all very different types of health and that as well, and personality, if you want to call it. You know, like you've got Andrea here, who's a classic from the original game, and Final Fight 2 does follow suit to the most part. I mean, the different types of enemy all fight differently, but where it's lazy is that you've got exactly the same amount of bad guys as in the first game, and if you look,
Fight swaps.
near enough, because every single bad guy from Final Fight 2 is a replacement from a character from the first game.
Yeah.
And you can pick them out. Now, this guy here, Mick, is he called? He's one of a group of 4 who's a clear replacement for Brad, Doug, Simons, and Jake.
Right.
And there's 4 of these guys as well. Now, you're fighting a guy who's a spit and dabs of Zangief just now, eh?
Aye.
They're the replacements for Axel and Slash.
Yeah.
Notice they do the block on that, you know?
It is Zangief, isn't it?
That's what people picked up on the time, which again, a little bit lazy design there. Probably more of a homage though.
Yeah. Where is Capcom, I suppose?
You've got your women here, so you've got Mary and Eliza, I believe it is, and they are clearly like replacements for Poison and Roxy. There's a guy who's Scott. I think it's meant to be Scott, but it looks like Shot with a H. He is clearly J and 2P, you know. Well, plays Matty for a little bit.
She's alright.
Andrea.
All
3 of them are good, fun. I mean, obviously Hagar does the spin and power drive in this one.
I'll have Hagar next to you, don't mind her.
Right.
I don't know, let's say I seldom plays him.
This is a thing
next to move.
with infinite credits and that and all, though, we can just go for it, you know. You've just seen Andrea there as well, and he is clearly just a modified sprite in the first game. The character who I find the most dullest and laziest is the guy I've just been killing, and that was clearly a rip-off of Hollywood and El Gordo.
Yeah.
You can see by the stance and everything.
But he's not jumping around.
He doesn't, no. Do you know what? He's got one move, I believe. You know what it is? Just to whack you with his pipe. So those characters in the first game were lethal. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I mean, you had those characters come on screen, you were like, you needed to concentrate on them first because they were just so lethal with the knives.
Well, like Galcia off Streets of Rage.
The ones with the knives, they'll run at you. But on here, they don't have a pickup weapon, so they don't have knives, they just use their pipes that you can't use. I keep thinking they might have a slide attack, but I don't think they do. I think they literally just whack you with a pipe. So they're probably the easiest enemy in the game now, you know?
Oh, Super or Return to
Almost die, no. So anyway, that's a quick little run of the enemy cast anyway. There's 3 types of Andrea as well, or Andrea, how you want to pronounce it. Not 5 as it was in the original arcade game. So a couple of the family obviously didn't make it.
They might be dead. You killed them in the first one.
Shit. Oh,
Does he do more damage with the nightstick?
Yeah, they're useful. The weapons are useful. They're about as useful as they were in the first one. So they're decent. They don't have the cool sound effects like in the first one.
I mean, even your pile driver doesn't kill them.
You'll notice as well that you can do the grab, like if you push up or down or back as you're hitting them. There's a slight compromise now. You can't do it from anywhere. You know, like the very length, like the longest.
You could do it right.
You've got to be a bit closer. If you're very far away, it won't trigger.
I was wondering why I was successful sometimes.
And not others. You've got to be a bit closer. Here's the last enemy I forgot to mention. Do you remember Bill Bull?
Yeah, aye.
Now this is Bill Bull's Bill Bull, G. Orber, and Wong Hu is replaced by a guy called Elik, which I think is meant to be Eric, and that's it. So those 3 guys are all replaced by one fat guy who's armed with twin tuning forks, which was an enemy on Captain Commando like that, if you remember.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, which is a gear. Well, we done Captain Commando yet.
We're waiting for
4 players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's on our 4 playlist.
That's something else. Since we're playing a Capcom beat 'em up as well, it's nice to talk about this right now. We are well aware of some amazing 3 and 4 player Capcom beat 'em ups out there.
You're on the list.
We're holding off because we're trying where possible. It might end up not happening. We might still have playing at some point 2 player, but we are deliberately making an effort to try and wait till we've got 3 and 4 players respectively to go into those games. I mean, I can't wait to play Armoured Warriors myself. Knights of the Round's a game I absolutely love back in the day, just because of the music as well. Soundtrack on that game's amazing. Mind you, we could cheat a bit maybe. I mean, But again, I don't know if people want this. If we played the SNES versions of those, where they're only 2 player, and then maybe went back and played the arcades.
Maybe at some point.
Spot,
if there's any interest, just drop us a comment and we'll. We'll
the thing is, well, like say Knights of the Round as an example, it's near enough identical to the arcade. No, it's not like it's a NES Double Dragon 2 out. You know, if it had like a lot of its own stuff, you could maybe say, well, you know, like we do with Combat Tribes, where there was obviously like some differences in that. You know,
yeah,
it's pretty much arcade perfect for what it is. Very good conversion, but did come out in 1995 or 94, but 94 or 95. The original arcade game, 1991. Captain Commando had a Famicom and PlayStation version, no?
It did, yeah, yes. Really good one.
We haven't even spoke about this boss who's now dead, Freddy. Dead Freddy, in fact.
Freddy's dead.
Again,
bonus stage.
Do you know what I saw? I mean, we were beating that guy up and he didn't really have any sort of special... do you remember fighting Sodom and that with his swords?
Yeah,
How he would fight? You know, you had to like attack him in a certain way or he'd knock you down every time. So Freddy's just another big lug, a bit like the first boss really. And to be fair, so is the next bloke, mate.
Right.
The first unusual boss is the one after that. That's Philippe the clown. And even that, he doesn't have any special pattern. He's just fast. So he's a bit more lethal like. But
head. You won that one. I put it on the list. Are they mines? They aren't they?
Right. Coins, you can pick them up.
Alright, you go and pick it up first.
I'll let you.
It kills you instantly.
It killed you. Well, I did tell you. But it does do the enemies and all. So this is like... this is sort of the equivalent of the fire... The bits of fire and you know in level 4, the last one. Because level 4 of this one is well, not spoil it. But it's not like this game's equivalent of the industrial level.
Yeah.
Like I say though, Final Fight 2 it's a great game. It's a solid beat 'em up. Very fun in 2 player. I was getting a bit sick of it in 1 player the other day, so I only did 2 levels. But in 2 player, I'm having a wheel of a time. So
it's decent.
Oh, good! I get to be Carlos time.
I like Carlos. He's quick.
You'll probably like Final Fight 3 more though because I said to Marcus. Yeah, well I said to you at the start before we played this, it's
slow down.
It's enough, right?
It's really cooking.
With Final Fight 3, you've got a bit more actual depth. You've got 4 playable characters now, all very good, all good fun players.
Do that.
Now, with Street to Rage 3, I never did like Zan. I just don't find Zan fun to players.
The fact he can't pick up weapons makes him
and his replacement for that's just crap.
Yeah.
So I don't like playing Zan in Street to Rage 3. I tend not to play as Skate in any of the games either, to be fair mind. But Final Fight 3, all 4 characters are good fun to play as, I thought. And it has been a while, but I did play through it with all 4. Final Fight 3 has roots. And in my opinion, Final Fight 3 is better than Street to Rage 3, so there's one for you. Although whether it's better than Bare Knuckle 3 is questionable because it might be on par. Yeah. That is its own thing I consider it. I think we'll both do at this point, do it. It's got enough changes to the formula. Well, obviously the American version came out later, didn't it? But the 2 versions are different enough that I think it's fair to consider them separate games.
Cheers, what you get for hitting it?
So
nobody hit Hagar.
Have I just done that to you in 1 kick?
Aye. No, I don't know. Actually, I don't know how much energy I had. No, I think you only knock off like maybe. Well,
can I see it?
It doesn't matter what size I say here because it won't translate to a scaled screen. No, whatever's using.
Well, that might the damage.
A 10th of your energy.
I was going to say though, Final Fight 3 actually has roots now as well, and it's got a lot more roots than say Street to Rage 3, which only has 1. Really, Street to Rage 3 is only 1. I mean, level 5 has. You can get through level 5 in different ways, can you? By knocking the panels off the walls and putting a hole in the floor. You know the first section of level 5, the like ninja house.
Oh yes, yes.
But it doesn't make a difference to the game. It's just like how you get through that level. You know, level 6 will stay the same.
I forgot about that actually.
Final Fight 3's got about 4 different routes through it, and about 7 or 8 different bosses actually. And you can fight a couple of different ones depending on the route, which is quite cool. I mean, the bosses are slightly better than the bosses in Final Fight 2, but still not up to par with the quality of the first game, I think. And this came out in 1995 and all, so it's a late game. So Final Fight 3 didn't do very well, mainly because there wasn't much demand for that type of game. But in and of itself, it's a good game, and it's a bit better than this one. It is. I'm looking forward to playing through it. There's interesting little things and all. I mean, you can take a different route just by smashing a window in the background or smashing a bus stop.
Right.
So you can like throw an enemy into a bus stop and the bus won't stop. So you won't get on the bus and you'll move to the scrapyard and that instead. And pretty cool because it's less obvious, if you know what I mean. The routes are less obvious to Golden Axe 3, you know, with the signposts and things and that. Aye, it's a good game.
Is this music been playing since level 2? Is it not the same track?
It was on level 1 and it makes you want to like it. Even though you hate it, and it's just keep going on and on.
Oh, it is. I see the track off level 1.
Aye, that second bit in this, the second section.
That way, I
hate it. I hate it. I hate this track. It's just horrible. But there is some good tunes. I mean, the first tune for the first level, it's also good with the final boss music and all. That's quite good, you know. So there's some good. There's some earworms, but nothing like Street 2 H2, you know.
No, geez.
This is G Andre. This is the big grandpa who was blue in the original game, if you remember.
Yes.
But you can see they couldn't even be asked to create a completely new sprite. They've just took the original Andre sprite and just give him dungarees.
I mean, yeah.
They give him dungarees, mate.
Yeah. There's not really much going on there, is it? It's a bit of a cash-in, to be fair.
As I said, I mean, again, it's coming out on the cusp of when these games were starting to lose fire a little bit. I mean, people were mostly the fighting games, one-on-one fighting games. Yeah. So even in 1993, this game didn't do as well as it could have. If this had been the game that came out in 1991, I think it would have blew people away, you know, because it is an incredibly playable game. It just brings nothing new to the table, that's all. Nothing at all. Which Golden Axe 2 on the Mega Drive was the same, so I had the same syndrome.
I think right now I prefer Golden Axe 2 on the Mega Drive.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, the music's amazing on it.
It's not just, the soundtrack's great.
Yeah, really
but
good.
I think it's because, obviously, it's just, the fighting system in this game is so simple.
It is.
And again, for 1989, that was absolutely fine because it was the first game of its type. I mean, it's different enough from Double Dragon and Renegade that be considered a different type of belt scroller, in my opinion.
Technical belt scroller.
And these are more like the rapid, the frantic ones, aren't they? So, Golden Axe falls into the same category as Double Dragon, I reckon.
You can't beat Double Dragon button mashing. Yeah. That's why I like Double Dragon.
Exactly, aye. And
I like button mashers, some of them as well, but they get boring after about half an hour.
And they're long. They're always like about an hour long, where like Double Dragon never outstays as well, as is Golden Axe 1 and 2. And that's why I consider Revenge of Death to be near perfect, because it's just about half an hour, so it's a lovely length. And you've got that much different technique. Yeah?
It is a button masher though.
It is, but there's that much different.
A little bit of technique to it.
Aye.
But it's mainly a button masher.
There's enough, but do you know what it is? It's all the different stuff you can do as well, like the 5 different mounts and the pickable weapons that you can then combine with those mounts and that. It's like, this is just like amazing, you know. And it looks so fantastic, oh man, the animation and the music. This is Bratkin, this is the boss, he's a gear sailor or something, I don't know.
Blackburst.
He looks like something out of Popeye, but again, he's just a big idiot.
He looks like Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, he's beat the shit on that. He looks like something out of a 1930s comic or something. But he does it. He does the jump and splash like every other boss does.
Wearing half a pirate costume.
Aye. Well, I don't know if that's what he's meant to be. I can't remember him doing that. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Though he doesn't have any sort of speciality. He's just a big lug who has about 3 different moves, and you just have to kick the shit out. You know, even like Eddie E, who would have obviously been level 3's boss in the first game. My favourite boss in the whole series, Eddie E. Just the whole idea behind him, you know, like, and the technique, obviously, you know.
Killed us in one hit.
Hey?
Killed us in one hit.
He did?
Right.
Full bar them.
Yeah, see.
Not me.
Do you want Hagar back or not?
Do you?
I'm come off if you want
I'll go back to Hagar. Well, I'm dead, which is probably now.
Oh, jeez. Right, you didn't close him one at that time, but 2 hits.
Look at the damage you do to him and all. It's like 2 knees and a thorn. It's done next out. These are just bullet damage sponges. Right.
They're basically punch bobs.
SpongeBob sponges.
Punch bobs. You just keep hitting them and it doesn't affect them.
Wait till you fight Philippe.
I bet it's like a super long fight.
No, he has less health because he's skinny.
Thank God. Because he's skinny.
No, he's a skinny clown. Looks quite cool, actually.
Come on, me and you. Oh, I thought I was going to kill him.
Oh.
I got him. Did I?
Well,
yeah.
I did. No, physically. I forgot about him on R1.
Yeah, I've done it.
Aye, and I don't think you can do it by pushing the 2 buttons together.
I tried.
So that's probably that's not available on the dip settings. There might be an extra life in there. Do you want to do the old Street 2 H check? Oh, there was. See, look what I did for you.
Guy.
What I do for you?
I got a guy.
You did,
a guy. Does that mean I get to play as Guy now?
No. There'll be But that's something else. Well, guys in Final Fight 3, by the way.
Yes.
So you know, and he's great, and he's got a cool. They've got back to Final Fight 3 again. You've opened the box again, even though I'm the one who
I'll tell you what, though, your move doesn't hurt you. You can just. Oh, no, it doesn't.
You know, it does. It hurts you when you watch this. It hurts you without hitting them. So I'm pleased you did that, because I forgot to mention that the other day. It doesn't do this in the original SNES version. So if you use your special when there's nobody there, it still takes damage. So
yeah, but it doesn't like it damages you when you hit them.
I don't know about that, mate. I wonder if they've reversed it then.
Yeah. Oh no, it did work.
I was going to say, imagine that.
I would have killed myself with that. That didn't work.
You get down to one point and it doesn't do anymore. There's no train on the track, so you haven't got to worry about anybody coming along and knocking you out with Street Race 3 style. That does not happen.
That's probably for the best.
It's the tune that's kind of dull and all. It's like it's just there.
Oh, what happened there? God, they're getting more and more health. He's got like nearly a enemy.
I might stay here going now then. I'll not spoil level 5 for you, but there's an interesting cameo.
Can't wait.
Okay, not very excited.
Very, pardon me.
But Andrea's not there.
Where's he gone?
Oh, get out. Man.
I'll just stand here and look the other way in case we get flanked. Oh. that was up.
I didn't know that was going to happen, honest. Go on. Oh.
I'm not going to hit you. I'm not that kind of person.
Say there was a train on Final Fight 1 in there, but they thought, hang about, we can't have you just going on the train again, so where do you think you have to go now?
Behind the train? Oh, in the back of the train.
No, wait, that's the whole
on top of the train.
No, of the dead horse. Stay at the back of the train, just waiting there for the guard. Guess what we do
if we're there, would you not know? If you were planning to get somewhere, why go on the roof? You just wait at the back of the train. The enemies try and get down one by one.
If the level 2 boss of Violent Storm comes along and tells you to get off the train, or may I say your ticket?
Then you fight them. But if imagine you're sat on the back strategically, right, waiting for the enemies to come to you. They've got to get down somehow, one by one, and as they're coming down, you kick them off the train.
Very fun.
It would be awesome fun, laughing and as they scream and fall off the back of the train. I'm sadistic.
I died in like half a hit.
It's just your crapness. It's not because the enemies take so much health off you when they hit you.
Oh, Eliza's dead. Took some credit.
Do I have to jump over anything coming at you?
No.
Nothing. I haven't even done
no obstacles. No, nothing. I know what you're saying. Something coming along the top of that.
Yeah.
Then poles, nothing.
Like, it's well known that if you have a top of train level, you have to jump over the signpost that comes to you. Goes beep 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 as it's coming.
Wait there. Did that? What beat 'em up? Did that do it on?
Every beat 'em up.
Even Final Fight 1 when you're inside the train.
No, only when it had the top of the train.
I'm trying to think. Violent Storm not on top of the train, isn't it? It's only inside, isn't it? Aye.
Yeah, you don't go on top. Aye.
It's been a while.
We'll have to play that again. We've done a podcast of that.
Well, again, it's 3-player though, and it's like, well, I really want to get a 3-player going. Like,
I need Logan to sort his wrist out so he can come back. Right. Let's see. I was just going to walk along the same bit of scenery for 10 minutes here and punch the same enemies.
They only make so many tiles now. It's a Super Nintendo game. There's your Red Hollywoods now. He does exactly the same as you'd expect. Mind you, did you notice that nearly every Capcom beat 'em up had that equivalent? It had somebody who did that. Where they copied it in Violent Storm, didn't they?
Yeah.
You had that guy with the bomb, he'd come on to his little bomb, then blow his hello. There's a one in Final Fight 3 and all that's got to an equivalent.
Glenn.
What?
Won't let us continue.
Not yet. It's just between sections. Here he is here. Right, this is Philippe the clown.
Hello, Philippe.
Right, he's quite nasty. He's got that, and it takes half a bar off you. But he does die quicker than the other 3 bosses that were fought. To me, he fights a little bit more. I would expect maybe Sodom to. In that he's quick and hits you a lot. He's not Sodom and you can't take his stick off him or whatever the fuck it is, cane or whatnot. He's a little bit more unusual because obviously up until now we haven't fought there. Who do you think will win in a fight, Philippe or Bruce? Not Bruce. It is Bruce, isn't it? Bruce at a Street Race 3.
Well, it depends. If Philippe still does the same amount of damage as he does right now, he'd probably kill him in one hit.
He probably would, wouldn't he? But go on. So you notice his health and that?
Yeah,
he's not too tough. I think...
Jeez, that slime is so quick and all. There's no getting away from him.
Nice. He's late. I remember in the SNES, Oh, there he's gone. In the SNES version, I used to lose a couple of lives on him.
Yeah.
Another thing that doesn't happen in this version, which you probably noticed by now, no enemies do the sort of like get up and fall back down bit. They just die.
Like dramatic death.
They just. Freddy actually screams like a woman for some reason. He's this big army dude and screams like a woman with bandana. Looks more like Jesse Ventura from Predator. Yeah, he screams like a bitch. A lady, a female,
a girl.
This is your bonus level, by the way.
I know. That's why I'm in front of you, doing all the jumps. I was cheating. There's no hitting. That doesn't hurt you though when you hit it.
It's easy, remember, right?
The problem is, I can reach across the screen.
I can't get. Oh! Go on, get it, that'll be it. Now for one? Probably not.
You messed that up, like.
I think you messed
by
it up.
being so big and slow.
I know, I'm not just like stuck with the end of the screen.
Was that mustache, you couldn't see the barrels?
I like this tune. I like this tune. Oh,
I remember that.
It's just catchy. It's like gets your head going, doesn't it? I think we're in Italy.
Right, download the soundtrack for the car.
Now this is a way Double Dragon 3 could have done it, couldn't it? I still think Double Dragon 3 was a missed opportunity. Level 4. They should have done it with the Mafia or something. Why wouldn't you like fighting like mafioso and that? You know,
Instead of Romans.
Instead of Romans, gladiators. It's like, all right, let's fight gladiators because that's what you'd fight in Rome. That was like.
I think, but the thing is with Double Dragon, obviously it's basically Renegade 3. I think the game was developed with a time travelling
originally
mechanic in there, like a part of the story.
But that was taken out at the last minute because. I mean, all the levels have that apart from level 1. So level 1's modern day, obviously.
I thought what's happened? In level 1, they found a time machine, right, and they went back in time for the Rosetta Stone. And then one day when they were play testing it, the Mr. Director comes in and says, "You know what? That whole time travelling gimmick is stupid."
But they didn't have time to change the spike. So you wouldn't have had time. I think Double Dragon 3, there's been some massive issues there. I just think it couldn't be more different from a Double Dragon game if it tried. You could, you know what it is? You could have given Final Fight 2 Double Dragon style sprites, and this would have been like Double Dragon 3. It says, well, it's a completely different game now, but still a beat 'em up.
Yeah, it would be better.
Double Dragon 3, the whole game feels so different. It's like I says, I've said on many times now, I don't actually hate the arcade version.
I do.
I know you do. With infinite credits on and fully powered up, it's playable, but it's like this is following on to absolute classics. Oh, you know, and I just kind of touch them. Everything's just different. Everything is so different. I mean, Ace Technology could have probably just like ripped off 1 and 2 and done something similar again, and still done better just by copying the sprites and whatnot, ripping sprites and just changing them a bit again, like they did with 2, really, and they're still done better, you know.
Remember that Snake on the Nokia mobile phone?
Oh, aye.
That game was by far better than Double Dragon 3 in the arcade.
What's better, Double Dragon 3 or Rise of the Robots, Mark?
Rise of the Robots.
Oh, I like that you didn't hesitate now. Which version though? Game?
I've never played it, but I would imagine it probably is. Actually, just for having the FMVs in it, it's better than Double Dragon 3.
Yeah.
Just for actually achieving that amazing feat.
Do you know what I think? The enemies in Double Dragon 3 are so stereotypical, or dull, or both. I mean, there's the bosses as well. It's like, remember when the Bobo would first come on, or burn off, the level theme would fade out and then burn off. Still kicking, he's laughing and that, you know, he falls off the roof.
The thing is, what's even worse though, they're not just crap. They're overstayed or welcome because they're far too imbalanced. You know, like Cleopatra at the end of that where she sweeps it away. So talk to the hand and you fly across the screen.
No,
it's like if you could kill the bosses quickly and get it over with, you wouldn't have to stare at how stupid.
Well, to be fair though, some of the the first 2 bosses and the gladiator die really quick. I find the ninjas a bit tougher because you have to find the right version, the right copy when he changes, you know.
Yeah.
So that's unbalanced because he's tough, and then the next boss after is just back down to being a normal enemy again. They don't have a gimmick, like he's the only enemy apart from Cleopatra who has a sort of gimmick. And then you've got to fight fucking Haruko, which is a midget with fireballs. And it's like, this feels wrong. I'm fighting a little old woman with half my size. I'm glad on the NES version, at least, that we're like, fuck that, we're not making her. She dies she just has a heart attack.
Yeah, that's the best way of it.
She just collapses and it's gone.
It's more realistic.
Yeah, rather like the mummies, you know. And the mummies pretty crap.
Yeah, it's a truly horrendous game, Glenn. And I wish I could be erased from the planet.
I would have said as an arcade game back in 1990 where you having to pay to increase your power and lives and whatnot. We're nearly at the end of this level already.
What's Relento?
It is Relento, right? I would have said that as an arcade game in the arcades and having to pay it is absolutely atrocious. 1 out of 10.
Oh god,
like I
the
say,
original microtransaction game.
Oh well, in and of itself, that is interesting. You've got to admit that it's as bad as it is and poorly implemented. It's really interesting because it is probably the first game that has microtransactions. It's just done in an arcade environment at that time as well. I mean, paying I think it was always 10 pence.
Hold on, because this is a big thing. So I'm addressing you guys here directly. Okay, if you want something to blame for how bad gaming is now, okay, the microtransactions and the fact that you don't get a full game when you buy it.
Oh no,
blame Double Dragon 3.
Well, you might be able to, yeah. But again, you've got to think, every idea, like at the time, can seem like a good idea. So I'll never say that microtransactions is a good idea because I don't think it is. But it's like at that time, in a game where, bear in mind, Double Dragon was a popular series still. So if you think of it from the corporate blokes' point of view from a second, I know they're the complete arseholes of the whole equation.
Careful.
But I've changed character. Never mind. He fights pretty much like he does in the original, which is good. This is a look. I think this is an apology. This basically. Do you reckon?
What, an apology?
Having Rolento in because he wasn't in the first game.
Right.
I
wish you'd left him out of this one. No.
He's irritating still. He's kind of. He has a lot more health and all than the original. Yeah. I thought he was kind of balanced in the first one. This one, you've got a lot more movement. You've got more space to move in, but he's just a complete arse. Just like I say, at that time, it would have been really interesting to try it out and see if it worked, but obviously it just totally killed the franchise for that time, Double Dragon. Because Double Dragon was never the same. It's not. I mean, some people didn't like 2, probably because it's too similar to 1 in the looks. Not although I personally love
it.
It is. I mean, we're talking about the arcade game here, even though you've got an absolutely fantastic NES game, one of the best scrolling games, even beating some of the 16-bit stuff. But Double Dragon 3, I think as well what didn't help, the conversions. I mean, to be fair to computers like the Amiga and the ST and the PC, they've done really good conversions of Double Dragon 3. I mean, they play really close and they look like good. If you like the arcade game, you'd be like, I like this. If you paid 20 quid for an Amiga version. Yeah. Imagine the Amiga's got excellent music, it's got a great soundtrack. Well, in-road tune. But, if you were a fan, and there probably was a few, then you would absolutely love that. But Mega Drive version, which plays a bit like the Amiga and that, but worse. And then the Game Boy game, which even takes out the extra guys, which is like the big gimmick of Double Dragon 3, having a couple of extra character types, which obviously was completely new to the series. That is cut completely from the Game Boy. Even the Spectrum version has that in there.
We had I can't remember who it was. Apologies if you're watching. I had a conversation on our comments with one of our fans. I can say fans. We've got some. Yeah. About the Double Dragon 3 on the NES and how I think he said he preferred it over 2 even.
Oh
because of that difference in the. He's entitled to his opinion. I was honest. I said I've never finished it. I would like to.
I don't think you ever will.
Damn hard. I think I'd have to cheat to finish that.
It's the thing is about Double Dragon 3 and the NES. I understand what they're doing, and it is a completely different game from its big brother. Obviously,
I liked it though.
It tries to play like 2, and it does a bit. Yeah. But I can't. Every time I've played it, I can't help but say how much is missing from 2. Obviously, they try and make up for it by having these extra 2 playable characters, which play totally different, and they are quite interesting. But it's just. It's DD2, it lets you play it. Double Dragon 3 doesn't let you play it.
Yeah.
It's so damn hard. I mean, you can literally be knocked off the edge on the first level when you get up from the lift and you're gone. That's it. You're dead. This is the last level.
Right, that was it. Because if you lose Billy, for example, you've got to play as is it Sonny or
there's no one to play as at the start.
No, but who else is the other 2 characters?
You've got in the NES game you have 2 alternate characters. You've got Shin. You've got Ranzu, which is the ninja. You get him on level 3, and you've got Chin Taimi, which is the little fat guy.
Yeah.
That's it. And those 2 characters play completely differently from Billy and Jimmy, but they're not fun to play as, mate, at all. They're not fun. What it is right? They're basically, could I call Double Dragon 2 a puzzle beat 'em up? That's what I refer to it as, because there's only one way to play it. You've got to play it in exactly the same way every time or you'll just die.
Double Dragon 2.
Double Dragon 3, sorry, on the NES. Sorry about that.
I was going to say that.
Not the NES,
You'd have some hell of a fun with that.
Basically, if you lose one of your special characters, like early on, you're fucked. You cannot complete the game.
So basically, it's like Sega Rally. If you're not at a certain point at the end of the stage, like a certain position, you're not going to get first at the very end.
It plays. I mean, I love buying a Commando on the NES, and I know you're going to go, where's the comparison coming here? But I used to be able to play that, but I used to have to play that in the exact same way every time. I used to do the levels in the same order every time because it's a map, remember, if you've played the NES version.
Yeah.
And although Double Dragon 3 is a completely different game with no map or anything, you've got to play through the levels with the same characters and with the same style. As in each of the special, well, each character, there's 3 types really. Billy and Jimmy are classed as the same character. The 3 character types all have a special weapon. So there is a couple of pickups, which there's like broken bottles, which I think you can pick up, and knives and that pickups. Nothing too interesting.
Do you want you know?
Oh my god!
I'll give you here, back if you want.
6 and 2 3 from now. Each of those characters has a special weapon which has a limited set of uses. So like Billy and Jimmy have got the nunchucks. Chin Taimi or Chin Saimi, however you pronounce it. He's got an iron claw, and Ranzu's got ninja stars. And Billy and Jimmy and Ranzu each have about 5 uses of their special weapon, which is weird. And Ranzu's got 30 ninja stars. Now, the ninja stars do next to no damage, right? Now, you're not timed in Double Dragon 3 as you weren't in 2 on the NES either.
Yeah.
Which was a good thing. It was a blessing because you could be on for like maybe 10 minutes trying to fight one boss if you use, like for instance, the level 4 boss is actually he's meant to be Sonny. He's meant to be not the third brother. Bear in mind this gets confusing because there's 2 characters called Sonny. There's Sonny, the yellow guy in the arcade game, who's the third secret brother or cousin, who's only in the arcade game of Double Dragon 3. And there's also the Urquidez brothers, which is the tall character. If anyone remembers that, there's 3 of them, and one of them is called Sonny with a U, or with an O instead, I think. Basically, it's like, why did I do that? But anyway, the boss of level 4, which is originally Giuliano, which is the gladiator, as you know, with the big spear thing, he is now replaced by what would have been that 3rd playable character. So you're fighting this big guy with red trousers. He's your boss, and he takes an absolute age to kill if you use your whirlwind kicks, even, which is your only sort of like super special move now.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that height
the knee or anything.
You don't have the knee. You don't have the uppercut. You have got like an overhead throw, which you could do in the arcade game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can use that in the bosses. I don't think you can. I'm not too sure. I think it's only for the smaller characters.
Is that the headstand kickflip?
It's something like that. A one-armed headbutt, which apparently you use your arm to headbutt people now. Well, normally in real life you'd use a one-headed headbutt, you know. I would have thought, you know, that's just.
Unless you were a Hydra, and then you could do a 3-headed headbutt.
A 9-headed headbutt. You know what I mean, though? But anyway, I don't think you can use that. So you've only got that one move, which is your most damaging move. You can't grab them, obviously, you know, bosses. Can't need them and stuff like that. So you can be on about 10 minutes. So you absolutely need a guy with a powerful special weapon now. The little Chinese guys, the blue guy called Shin Taimi, he has the iron claw, like I said. Now, when you use that weapon, it looks absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, but it does
enormous damage, but it doesn't knock them down. So you've got to hit them once, walk away, and after you've hit them 5 times, you've knocked about 2/3 of a boss's health off.
Right.
In fact, I think it kills 1 or 2 of the bosses instantly. Ranzu's ninja stars do literally next to nothing, so are near useless, but obviously they knock the enemy down straight away and they give you a bit of respite, so if you just want to use them up, then you're free to. They can come in use on a load of
crowd management more than anything, really. But I mean, pretty much enemies on the screen,
to some degree, yeah. I mean, and Billy and Jimmy's nunchuck does a lot of damage, but not as much damage as Ranzu's claw, but they knock the enemy down straight away, and you get 5 uses of that as well. So if you have your nunchuck and I've got mine, generally 10 hits might be enough to kill, like, say, that level 4 boss.
Yeah.
Now, the final boss, Cleopatra, which we'll call it.
How did they explain only having so many uses of the weapon? Did it break?
There's nothing, mate. There's no explanation. Just that it breaks, I suppose. You could just argue that the weapon breaks, just like it does in some other beat-em-ups, you know? So, like Street Rage 3, weapons break afterwards. So I would say that.
Or maybe it had a coin slot on the weapon and you would
it chucks more high, honestly. I know, it's mental. But basically, if you've got your weapon, so what I'm saying is, if you take, say, those 2 characters, so Billy, Jimmy, and Shin Taimi, include counts 2 separate characters. If you use their special weapon early in that level on normal enemies, you are fucked. You might still be able to beat the boss, but you'll be on like 10 minutes with whirlwind kicks and whatnot, and you'll still probably knock you first because they're solid. So you absolutely have to keep those weapons for the bosses of each level. They get reset for the start of every level, thankfully. So obviously you get your 5 uses back.
Yeah.
So basically, if you use them for anything other than the bosses, you've broken your game. And why wouldn't you? Because there's no hints given to say that you should be keeping them for the bosses. And to me, that just makes the game so one-dimensional. Because Double Dragon 2 and 1 on the NES could be playing in such different ways. Yes, on the first game you had to accrue your moves, but you still started with a decent enough moveset that you could mess about a bit.
Had two, punch and
punch, flying, kick, and kick, I think.
Yeah, it was that.
And you couldn't do your uppercut or your spin kick at that time. But you know, you were handy though. You know what I mean? You didn't even have
couldn't even knee people.
Mark, I don't think you did have your jump kick. Actually, you had a regular jump.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So you might have punch and kick. But
Yeah.
it was only for about half of the level, and then you'd get like your first couple of moves, which I think was your flying kick.
You uppercut. Oh no, you might.
Uppercuts that came later, I think.
It might have been your flying kick first.
But they were still good because the once you had those two moves, like your whirlwind, your spin kick and your uppercut, you were harder. I mean, they did more damage, so they're useful as well.
Yeah.
Elbow was your sixth move. I always remember being the sixth. But it was a great balance in Double Dragon 1 because you could kill enemies really quick with the elbow. I mean, really quick. It was so unbalanced. But where the trade-off is that it did very little damage. The points were very low. So if you fought the rest of the game using your elbow, you were almost certainly guaranteed to not have your best moves by the last level. And you had a really hard time beating Willie and Jimmy, if you remember.
Yeah.
So it was a great balance because you could still beat the game that way. But if you remember right, them two bosses ducked nearly every elbow you threw at them.
Yeah.
Where like the Bobo and Shintai didn't. You know what I mean? And instead, you think it was quite a cool little sort of bait and switch in a way. So, but you had a choice to play that way. Double Dragon 3 doesn't give you that, and it just made it a much weaker game for it. Really, to enjoy that game, you have to have like infinite health on, and don't fall off any cliffs. And instead, if you lose any one of those important characters early in the game, I think you get a continue. I think you maybe do get continue from like level 2, but and I think you do. But after that, you're stuffed. There's no infinite continues. So again, losing like either of those characters early, even like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you can sort of manage. Do you know what I mean? And this game, you just can't. Like very bad balancing. Like I say, I nearly bought Double Dragon 3 back in the day, and I was even told by the guy in Joseph's, so that was where we got at the time,
right,
pick up one instead, because we'd had two for months. Yeah. So I could get one more game. I could get either 1 or 3, and I've got no regrets getting DD1 because I still think that's a great game.
I picked 3 up from the car boot sale at Nissan.
Do you know what it is? Loose cartridges now are really expensive and all.
I think I paid it like £5-6 or something back then.
It's Christ, it's crazy.
That would have been like 93 or something, maybe.
You'll pay about quite 30 odd quid or something now to buy loose garbage. Boxed in good condition, over 100 quid now. Graded, Christ man, in 4-figure ranges now. I mean, as I said, it's generally speaking, it's still an improvement over the arcade game because, like, what way could you go? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you couldn't have made a worse game.
I'd like to say that the guys who made it, who are the same team that did the first two, that they did the best what they could with a bad job, really. Although I still think they could have just sort of went, here, let's just start from scratch, which they did anyway, and just make it more like a newer version of DD2 with the same type of scope and maybe just scrap the extra characters. I mean, going back to Double Dragon 2, a different version altogether is the Game Boy game, which isn't even a Double Dragon game at all, but it's really good. It's not as good as Double Dragon 1 on Game Boy. It's actually a Kunio-kun game, but it's playable and it's very easy, like, but it's fun, you know. This is the final section.
Yeah, I figured the music's changed.
It's you know, they've done a reskin of a Japanese-only game, and although it plays nothing and has no connection to any other existing version of DD2,
plays well, though.
It's a good game. It's that uppercut, isn't it? It's satisfying as hell.
The hype uppercut, aye.
Let's go to power move, isn't it? Where it's more like a proper Sagat Tiger up, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I quite like them down too.
Yeah, it's a fun game, especially after seeing what they did with DD3, which is another European-made release, and it's based more on the computer versions, but it takes out all the decent bits of the computer versions. You know, like as I said, the 16-bit versions, if you like the arcade game, are actually very good. You know, quite polished, and they've got a lot of the content of the original game. You know, like you could be arguing that Double Dragon 1 and 2, like the Amiga versions, actually do lose a bit. You know, DD2 is an excellent version, I think.
I think it's trying to map the controls to one button, isn't it?
Aye, a lot of it's dead. Well, that's the thing, though. DD3 doesn't have that many moves anyway.
I know.
The way they've tried to explain it is because you've got like 4 totally different character types now in the arcade version. The move set's sort of shared between them, so you might only have about 4 or 5 moves but another character will have 4 or 5, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
So DD3, sorry, say the Amiga version example, still loses some of the moves. I mean, you've got the whirlwind kick, but you don't have that handstand ankle, that overhead one-armed headbutt, whatever it's called. And every character only has, because every time you buy tricks, you get 2 moves, if you remember.
Yeah.
Every character's got their version of like the cyclone kick, and a unique move. And DD3 on the Amiga and the other 16-bit versions just gives you 1 move instead of both. But that means you've only lost like 1 move, really. Well, like I said, I think a lot of it's down to levels, and all the levels are like just have no character at all.
Gives a cuddle and killed us.
He's very nice, and he's very warm and friendly guy.
He is. Maybe if you're not hooked so tight, I would have still alive.
I think that doorway there's the last one, actually.
Thank God.
Do you know who the final boss is?
Is it? It's an undead. What's his name?
It'd be funny if it was Belger.
Aye, undead.
Vampire
Belger.
Revenge.
Is it Relento again?
It's Relento's brother.
What's his name? Bolento.
Minto.
Memento.
The boss looks quite cool and ridiculous at the same time. You want another truth, like
Cool and ridiculous.
cool and ridiculous at the same time.
Can't remember. I would remember when I see him, obviously.
I think one of the best bosses is the final boss of 5x3. Black, he's called. He's like more of a military type, and he looks cool as fuck. Like,
Right.
they're all dying interested. Well, no, they didn't really. I'm not even going to tell you how this guy dies, but you're just going to like.
Well, let's see the environment, and I'll guess.
Well, you might not guess straight away.
Okay, well,
This is a boss where you've got a little bit of a.
Does he fall through the floor into a cesspit of shit? Because that happened in a very old story years ago.
That's him,
in
Mark.
a church. Oh, I
He's
remember him.
got
I do remember him.
You know how he dies? Can you guess?
He
Can you guess?
falls
Can you
off
try and
Does
guess?
he fall off here? Back.
He falls through a hole in the floor, like you said.
Does he get kicked through the
Screen door?
yeah?
No, not at all. But he's got a slight different pattern, but you wouldn't really know it. Obviously, at the minute, we'll kick the shit out of him. He's flying all over the place with whirly kicks and whatnot. And then when you get him down to like about his last bar or whatever, he just like does something which is probably the stupidest thing any boss would do. Which you do in a real fight. You'd stand next to the window and hopefully get knocked out.
Ah, right.
Sort of like Belgium. Funny enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'd have just copied.
Well, it doesn't help with Black on 3 either, like, but you'll see that.
I mean, to be fair, mate, are you seeing the shoes he's wearing? I'm surprised he doesn't just fall out back.
break his ankle.
Aye.
I know. Bear in mind, he actually sits at the table and commands his minions dressed like that, you know.
Well, he's hair.
Even Belgium made an effort.
bad.
This guy just hired on the first thing he found in the wardrobe after Dee's Kabuki show. But bear in mind, Capcom at the time, interesting take. Like they could have just had a crime, but it could have been Belgium come back, if not. He's called Retu or Retu, I don't know how you pronounce it. I used to think it was Retsu, but there's no S in there.
Jesus.
So it's absolutely not Retsu. But he doesn't have any mates at all. You know, in Belgium had like loads of people. Doesn't have a crossbow. Doesn't have notes, apart from his shoes.
Well, his shoes are beautiful, though.
Who would you rather fight, Belgium or him?
Belgium.
Again, though, this goes back to what I said at the start.
Didn't do as much damage.
Mark is just another big lug, really, isn't he? He's just another big lug who jumps about a bit and stuff and jumps on you like everybody else has so far, with the exception of Philly, I think. Even Rolento sort of did that because he hoid his grenades, so not as much creativity in the bosses in this game. 3 does have a bit more, like I said earlier, but I would still say not as good as what the first game brought, because they were all unique, you know, and they all had like different patterns. Even Abigail, who's just a fucking pallet, a head swap, was was like interesting because he had different moves from obviously Andre and that. So he managed to not just be a simple pallet swap.
Yeah.
Even though that's what he was.
Right.
I like to think he was like the boss of the wrestlers, you know. He does break out of throws though, which is interesting. Breaks out your grabs and that, so it's better to try and get out of them. Like,
I'd be throwing my shoes
of course.
God, he's got more energy than the Energizer Bunny. I don't even know if he's got any eyes. I can't tell. There's just pink hair.
You think he's one of the lefties? Like watch him now.
Look, he's down.
Yeah, he's back there. To watch what he'll start doing in a second. He'll start. Oh, I'm gonna just do my old whirly gig. It didn't work.
Oh, I think he's doing it. No, he's not.
He's just irritating us now, like. We're hard on this version, like. You know, if that was me, I'm just gonna You're not invincible when you do that anymore. But you should have went out as well.
So after all the times he got chucked against the screen door, it just failed now.
I know. It's
I think the physics in Final Fight 2 aren't very realistic.
I know. It is 1993. Have you noticed what you don't see though? You don't even have the bit where he's like falling like you would have with Belger. So in theory, he might have just landed on some ground and be all right.
Yeah, that could have been like a one floor. He might.
We didn't even go up any
stairs.
We didn't go up. It wasn't like that. So he's probably just lying out there. He's probably just knocked out. Why is he not back in Final Fight 3 or Streetwise? Do you think he'd fit in with Streetwise as the colour palette?
Well, he would just look at like that.
He'd just like an old man. I'd just be like dull and bored, wouldn't he? Sitting there. Probably not even wearing clogs anymore. Or whatever it is they wear. There's a name for them shoes.
It's
Why would you wear them like that? You just wear shoes, wouldn't you? Why would I wear them? Why would I deliberately make life hard for myself? Bet Dad's got a pair.
Yeah, probably. His favourite shoes.
Yeah.
Well,
but a good game. It's solid, isn't it? It's solid.
It's just
a
basic beat 'em up.
I know, and there's not. It doesn't have any. Like I say, if you look at the scope of it, it doesn't bring anything new over the arcade game. Obviously, again, it's a direct sequel to the SNES version, so if we were reviewing the SNES version right now, you've got to be at least say, look, it improves on the SNES version of Final Fight 1.
Yeah, I suppose.
Even though I still prefer the atmosphere and the music and stuff of Final Fight 1. And the enemies and all, because we've grown up with them, those characters and stuff. So Guy as well and Cody, obviously.
So it loses the music, it loses the personality.
Yeah, it's not the best soundtrack.
But it gives you two players, so two people can suffer the misery instead of one.
I wouldn't say it was misery.
Nah, it's not misery. I would give it like a 6.5 out of 10.
I'd say 7.5 if I was going to review it, because I do like it still, and that's still a solid review.
Very lenient.
I said I've got a bit nostalgia for it now, because I did used to play this a lot. I had this long before I even had
You are a super player.
See? Fight, 1996.
I think he's talking to me though, because I got the highest score.
Did you?
Yes.
I beat what he's called Retu.
You didn't beat him. He's still alive. He's just lying.
Oh, sorry. I did beat him. He's still alive, lying in the shit outside. But
he fell in the fountain, and now he's
about. He might crack his head off the fountain.
Oh, he didn't even get put.
Oh, he landed on some bamboo.
He might have landed.
That would have been cool.
Nice soft cushion.
Why would be cushions in the middle of a bamboo garden?
Why would a guy have wooden shoes on?
There was. But he did. The point is, he did have wooden shoes on, though. We don't know about the cushions.
No, we're going to assume, though.
We have to.
Anyway, before we get into a fight over it, that's it for that one.
Final fight over it.
Final fight over it. So, this won't be the final fight. We'll be back with Final Fight 3.
Hopefully, yeah.
Whichever one.
But, well, like I said, I think Final Fight, if you give that 6.5, and you cannot go back with Final Fight 3, it is better. It still doesn't feel as good as the original, though. You'll know what I mean when you play it.
If you want us to do a playthrough of Final Fight 2 on the SNES, don't even bother asking. We've just done it basically. So we'll do Final Fight 3.
We're not going to. Plus, it's got no more real content anyway. With Final Fight 3's got a few routes, so.
But that's it for that one, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care.